Yes, people, welcome to another edition of From a Third Eye View Umpire Radio, hosted by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note, and I'm joined by my Don, Mr. I've seen more in the night than you've seen in your life, aka Stato, aka Bloodstro, aka Stro. So first and foremost, Stro, are you telling me you good?
Oh, it's a beautiful weekend. Sun shining.
This guy.
Pep Guardiola fails in another champ. I can't even get it out without laughing.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that, fam.
My good friend Pep. What a guy. What a man. No, it's been a good weekend. Like I said, sun shining. Bars and restaurants. Everywhere's back open. You can go inside. It's been a good weekend. I'm thrilled. It's actually take that back. It's been a great week for Liverpool fans. It's been a phenomenal week.
Yeah,
very enjoyable.
This guy. We're a minute into the show and you're already cooking, and you wonder why I give you so much stick and things of that nature. Look at you in it, trolling away. Yeah. Look at the happiness I've not seen you smile like that since Liverpool won the league. You know what I'm saying? Look at the joy.
When as James calls him, Nathaniel Maldini.
Oh Lord.
Got us to third place. Come on. Let's just get straight to, because I've got a lot to say on this.
Yeah, go on.
So, let me ask you a question. What were your thoughts when you seen the lineups?
We didn't even get to it. Hey, big up to, first and foremost, before we even get to that, shout out to our brother JV, who will be back soon, people. Always, but love to our brother JV, like I say every week, just to keep you updated. We haven't broken up. We've not broke up the Beatles. Nobody's been left off bad and bougie. You know what I'm saying? We haven't Joe Budden, Rory, and Mal the thing, just to let those know. You know what I'm saying? We're still all well and good. But yeah, when I seen the lineup, the City lineup, I thought Pep's done it again in terms of if he wins, genius. If he doesn't win, he's opened himself up to have issues. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, big issues.
Like, he's opened himself up to criticism, like major criticism, if they don't win.
Because what's the one thing that stood out about his lineup?
The no DM.
Attacking, right?
It was the no holding midfielder that was the issue for me.
One shot on target all game.
We have to give credit also, as bad as
there was 3 shots on target, both teams.
Yeah. But both teams are defensively better than they are offensively, because that's where both teams are going to strengthen, and they're both well drilled defensively as well.
Are they? One of them's got Kyle Walker. Yeah. John Stones and Diaz struggled with Werner in terms of his movement.
But
Werner should have put Chelsea.
He should have. Well, that goes to my point: is they are both of those sides are defensively better than they are offensively. They're the two best defensive teams in the league. Of course they are.
Chelsea are. City,
yeah. They conceded the least goals.
No, I'm talking. Yeah, but we're talking off the one-off game.
Yeah,
right? And it was so abundantly clear. If you're going to go attacking like this, right?
Okay, go on.
As a man that preaches about the beautiful game, what he did was so disrespectful to Chelsea in terms of, I don't need a DM.
Yeah.
The worst thing is, have you seen his Rio Ferdinand interview?
Yes, I did see. I seen clips of the Rio Ferdinand
interview. And he breaks down exactly how Chelsea are going to play.
Yeah.
They're going to shorten the spaces. They're going to go to the 5 at the back. But the wing backs are going to be really wide, so it's tight, difficult areas and stuff. You've had this blueprint the past 2 times that they've played it, and you can't break it down.
Right.
It's awful. So let's just get straight into it, yeah?
Go on.
First couple of minutes, or the first 5 minutes, you've got, I can't remember who it is. Mendy plays a silly pass to Rudiger in the left-hand corner. City are all over and pressing. You're thinking, right, City look up for this. Then something happened in the first 5 minutes, and it was game over from that point. Mason Mount and Chilwell, right? So Chilwell's the wing-back. Mason Mount was obviously playing on the left of the 3, right?
Yeah.
You've got Mahrez on the right, Kyle Walker. Not a defensive bone between them. Specifically Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker got dragged inside. Mahrez didn't track Chilwell. And what happened? The ball got switched across. And Chilwell played this one ball, which broke the line straight into Mason Mount. And he's through. The DM stops that.
Definitely. He has issues. So for those that don't know, we are talking, obviously, it must have been under a rock, the Champions League final between Manchester City and Chelsea, which Chelsea did 1-0. So Manchester City did line up with Edison in goal, Stones and Diaz as centre-backs, Zinchenko, Walcott, full-backs, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, and Foden as the midfield three, so no holding midfielder. Then Mahrez, Sterling, and then Kevin De Bruyne as the false nine. Well, yeah, go on, carry on.
Right,
I'm just adding context for those who might have forgotten what the actual lineup was.
So specifically, when you look at Havertz and Mount, they're not operating as wingers. They're operating as two number 10s. Yeah. So when you've not got a defensive midfielder, that's a nightmare for Gundogan, who's not a defensive midfielder in the first place because he's just left exposed. And it's like, do we go to the left with Havertz? Do we go to the right with Mount? And what happened was, he's stuck in the mud, didn't have a clue what he was doing because he's never played that position for City before, especially in a big game like this.
Yeah.
And Chilwell picks the ball up on the left-hand side, who's nice and wide, right? Walker gets dragged out because he's struggling.
Yeah.
Because he's having to close the space. And then one little ball into Mount. Mount turns on the half turn, drives at him, and I can't remember what happened. I think he took a shot and it went over or something.
I'll pull up the highlights for you shortly.
But at that point, it was curtains because that was the game plan. Get the ball to the wing backs and put it into the channel between the fullback and the centre back in that little pocket of space where Havertz can operate, where Mount can operate. And City didn't have an answer. And you look at Timo Werner, he was running them two defenders ragged.
Yep.
His finishing was awful, don't get me wrong. But my Lord, his finishing, if it was anything better, if Atlanta Giroud, it's 1-0 in the first 5 minutes.
But that's go on, carry on.
But it's like, I'll give credit where it's due. His movement ran Stones and Diaz ragged. That, to me, shows why you can never overhype a player. Yes, they've had the best defense in the league. That's fine. Don't ever compare Diaz to the likes of Virgil van Dijk ever again. Never.
But you know what? With social media, you always get that because people are very reactionary. And I'm not saying it's right. Comparing Diaz to Van Dijk after one season is wrong. Like, he has to have season after season after season. But people do that all the time. People did it with Van Dijk. And people will do it if, say, for instance, Spurs sign a centre-back and Spurs have a terrific season. They'll be kept comparing that centre-back to Diaz and Van Dijk.
Oh, yeah.
It will happen on social media. Yeah,
but it's like, just going back to Pep, what are you doing? No, it's a serious question. Like, what on earth are you thinking? Like, in what planet did you think that was going to work? They play, and you knew how they were going to play because you talked about it. They play with two false tens. How dare you not have a defensive midfielder in a game like this?
That's true. That is very true.
Because here's the thing. If you're not going to do it, and you're not going to have a defensive midfielder, you better have the ball 100% of the time.
Yeah.
That isn't going to happen in a game
I don't even
of
actually
football.
know. I've not looked at the stats out of interest. So, City had 61% possession. Chelsea had 39%. Okay.
Go to
go on.
Carry on. Go to shots.
And shots was 7 shots from City, 1 on target, 8 shots from Chelsea and 2 on target. And that was going back to my point is both of these teams are looking for strikers.
Yeah.
For a reason.
But why? But you've gone all out attack. 1 shot on target is a disgrace.
Yeah, 100%.
In a Champions League final, a disgrace. Then to make it worse, right? De Bruyne, unfortunately, manages to break his nose and he fractures his orbital.
Yeah.
When he goes to turn in, Rudiger obviously shuts him off, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're 1-0 down. How dare you not bring Aguero on?
That was a big mistake. Yeah. That was a massive mistake.
No,
that was a massive mistake.
It's just a catalogue of mistakes.
Yes.
He woke up and decided to pick that team. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
For the life of me.
I can't. As much as we praise him and we give him praise when praise is due, that makes sense. I'm just making sure what I said then was this.
We give him criticism.
Yeah,
the media refuses. 18 points behind Liverpool last season wasn't talked about. Suddenly Liverpool are 18 points behind, which we didn't finish 18 points behind. Lo and behold, it was the worst tower defence ever. Because it's City and Pep Guardiola. They're the media darlings because they've got the most money. But it's like, this was your big chance. You were brought in for this exact reason to win Manchester City, the Champions League. Let's go back 3 seasons, okay? You come to Anfield in the Champions League. You get blown out 3-0 in the first game. Blown out. You were lucky it wasn't 4 or 5, and that's not me being like with my Liverpool head on. It's the truth. They were absolutely demolished that night. Demolished. Had the second leg. They went all out attack again. Went 1-0 up. That's fine. But look what happened because you went all out attack. We won 2-1. Because you did not have a balanced squad and a balanced 11, and it cost you. Because you could have got back into that game. We had Karius in net, Lovren at the back. Like, you easily could have nicked another one, 2-0, and then our backs were against the wall. But no, you made it easy for us. Let's go back to the
Oh, yeah, before Stroll carries on, big up to everyone in the comments. I will get to each and every one of you in the comments. Please make sure if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to Pi Radio. If you're watching listening via DAB or online, much appreciated. Love to everyone who's locked. I will get to the comments. I'm just letting Stroll's got to get this off his chest, so I'm just letting him go. Continue.
Right, so then let's go back to the City Tottenham game, right? First leg is at Tottenham's new stadium, right?
Yeah.
I think it was the first game that was played there, if I'm not mistaken, right? Manchester City get a penalty. Aguero misses it. Now you miss penalties. That happens. What doesn't happen, or what shouldn't happen, is a manager with Pep Guardiola's experience faffing with the squad again. And he did that in that leg, and it cost him.
Yeah, he did. We've seen him do this.
And then you go back to the Etihad, right? Everyone talks about VAR and stuff like that. No one's talking about the fact that Tottenham managed to score 3.
True.
Away from home.
Yeah.
So it's like, what we're doing, and then we go to the Lyon game, which for me is the worst out of the lot. Lyon.
The Lyon game was worse. Yeah, go on, carry on, fam. I'm just letting you go. Letting you go.
These men that are trying to defend him are the same man that turn around saying that the French league is the Farmers League. True. Cool.
Huh?
So you've got a City reject in Jason Denayer, who was centre back. Depay, who's touted as a Manchester United reject.
Yeah.
Traore, who was a Chelsea reject. And then man took you to the cleaners because you decided to mess about with your team again. When are you going to learn? This isn't the league. This is the Champions League.
Huh?
You can make changes in the league and it might not work. But the next game you can pull it back because someone might drop points elsewhere or two teams have to play each other that are going for it and it benefits you. That's what happens. That doesn't happen in the Champions League. How are you still making these rookie mistakes in the Champions League? In a final, the one job you were brought into was to win Manchester City the Champions League, and you decide to change your 11. You kept 10 of the same players. The one player you changed, the defensive midfielder, and you brought in Raheem Sterling. What did Raheem Sterling do all game? Nothing. He made Reece James look like Cafu.
Yeah.
It was poor to see.
I hear you. Stones
went back to John Stones from a couple seasons ago, just making mistakes left, right, and centre. Diaz, you know what? Zinchenko did okay. I felt sorry for Zinchenko at times in that game because he was just left exposed time and time again. Kyle Walker, and he's going to the Euros. Are you serious? This man is going to the Euros. He's got a long throw. That's it. What did he do in that game? Yes, and listen, this isn't me criticizing, or this isn't me taking away from Chelsea because I thought Chelsea's game plan.
Yeah, we're gonna get to. I wanted to start with Chelsea and Tuchel, but you wanted to start with Pep.
Absolutely excellent.
Well, let me get to the comments and I'll let you continue on Pep, and I'm gonna give my thoughts on that as well. Shout out to Ryan who says big up Flawless and Stroll. Big up Ryan. United for Life says Flawless gonna come to your show. When we do on Sarcasm City TV, we do fan calling shows, so you have to look out for one of them in regards to that. He also says, if you don't mind, I'm Ollie out. There's a lot of things I can say. Yeah, we'll speak on Ollie. Don't worry about that. Big up Umar Chowdhury says, legend, Flawless. Big up to you. Peter Wilder says, the reality is Diaz is closer to Rudiger than he is Van Dijk. Shouts to Prime. He says, the happiest night of my life. I'm so gassed. I totally understand that, Prime. He says, Strowman, Flawless, how you man doing? I'm decent still. I can't complain.
How dare you?
Go on.
How dare you voice note me with Lambs Sigi Championes down the phone like I wasn't messaging you, sending you nice messages saying how happy I were that you won it. Nah, everyone's getting smoked. Everyone.
It's what it is. C1 Lund LDN says Reece James was amazing. And like I just said there, United for Life, you have to look out for the shows, Sarcasm City TV shows. We do fan calling shows on Agenda FC. So you have to look out for one of them or look into the membership as well. That's another way to get on the channel. I have multiple people reach out, but big up to you. Big up to everyone that's locked. Make sure you share it. Let's get more numbers in here. We are discussing City losing the Champions League final to Chelsea. And Umar says, Flawless, what we're going to do with these spam accounts? Just block them. That's all I can do. Is just continue to block him. I think I blocked him on the YouTube anyway, but I'll double check. Let me know. Prime saying, Stroll, you can't smoke a champion of Europe. But we'll get to that. But carry on talking about Pep and Manchester City and him getting it wrong with not only the DM, the front three as well. Why Sterling's playing, I don't know.
That's what I mean. Sterling.
I think De Bruyne is a false nine.
It's the first time Sterling's played in the past 5 Champions League games.
Yeah, I don't know why he's playing
Sterling. Change Pep made from the previous Champions League game or the previous couple of games is, right, first and foremost, where's Cancelo?
Where is Cancelo? That's a great point. Where is Cancelo?
Exactly my point.
That is a great point.
So first of all, where's Cancelo? because he's better than Kyle Walker.
That slipped my mind. Where is it? You've made a great point there. Where is Cancelo?
Right, where's Rodri? Fair enough.
I play Fernandinho.
No. But what I'm saying is, I can understand why some people wouldn't want to play Fernandinho because they think that his legs are gone and it's a massive game. That's fine. You have to play a defensive midfielder just for a bit of balance because they're playing Havertz and Mount in the 10? In the 10s. Mm-hmm. One to the right, one to the left. Huh? They are exposing your weaknesses and your frailties. And you have the ego to just think, well, no, we're going to have most of the ball. That's fine. But look what happens when he broke for the first time on the counter-attack. Werner was in with ease. Yeah, he brushed past Diaz like he wasn't there. Mm-hmm. So it's like, this is the thing that absolutely baffles me about Pep is, how am I only seeing YouTubers and actual fan accounts talking about Pep and no one's talking about how bad of a mistake it was, his team selection? Not once. I'm not seeing it on BT. I'm not seeing it on Sky. Nothing. Honestly, this is so big of a mistake. And it's on him. But let's talk about Chelsea, because I thought...
before we move on to Chelsea, let's carry on and continue on with Manchester City and Pep. And this is why I was it's crazy, having a discussion about Pep not being the GOAT. Was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday on Man United at Sarkazoo City TV, and the conversation went that way. And we're talking about why Pep's not the GOAT. Because of things like this. Not winning the Champions League in, what has it been, 10 years now? And again, there's a way to lose a final. If he would have played Cancelo and Fernandinho's in there, and Sterling's not playing, he's playing Foden as a false nine, and he plays the team that's been most successful for him this season, and they lose that game, we're having a different conversation. This is now an ongoing theme of Pep changing it in the Champions League in the big moments of losing it. Champions League final against Chelsea, sorry. Was it a quarterfinal or semi-final versus Leon? The semi-final versus Leon.
Oh no, quarterfinal.
Yeah, quarterfinal. The Champions League game against Spurs. He has issues in this competition, and this is why we criticize him. With the money that he spent and the squad that he's got, he should be doing better.
So
carry on.
So then, because I know exactly what City fans will rebuttal. Yeah, but domestically he's amazing.
Which he is. I don't take anything away from him.
I do. You should be. £1.2 billion you've spent. You've got the best squad in England. You've got the most money in England. You should be cleaning up domestically. You should be. Everything.
That's a fair point.
£1.2 billion. How? That's not taking anything away from the fact that obviously the 99 season or where you got over 100 points. Listen, let's be honest, right? Carabao Cup. Unless you're Manchester City, no one really takes that cup seriously. Let's be honest. It's second fringe players until you get to the semi-final, and then you start going more, unless you get drawn against another Premier League team. And even then, you make wholesale changes, right? Yeah. FA Cup, similar. Doesn't have the prestige that it does, which I hate, by the way, because I love the FA Cup. The final with Leicester this season hopefully brought back a bit of magic to the FA Cup because of the underdog story. But what I'm saying is, if you've spent £1.2 billion on your squad, you should be, and you have the depth of squad that they have with the amount of talent and the amount of money they've spent on it, you should be cleaning up domestically. Right. I don't want to hear that. He was brought in for one sole reason. Because here's the thing, did Manchester City win the FA Cup before Pep came in?
Yeah.
Did Manchester City win the League Cup before Pep came in?
Yes.
Did Manchester City win the Premier League before Pep came in?
Yes.
So what was the one thing that he was brought in for? The Champions League.
Yeah, he was brought in to dominate in the Premier League and win it back to back, which he's done.
Anyway.
Yeah, but he never won it back to back. That's what he's brought into. He's brought in to be. I get your point. He's been brought in. I give Pep credit for that to make them more of a dominant force in Manchester City in the Premier League. Yeah, but the Champions League, I agree with you because he was brought in also to win that, and it's a black mark against him. He's failed. Yes,
he has made them a dominant force, but with that amount of money, you should be the dominant force anyway.
Yeah, he's failed. Yeah.
So it's like you move on to the Champions League and it's just like, what? I'd love to know what on earth is going through his head to make these decisions at times because it's on him. Yeah. Liverpool away, on him. Tottenham, on him. Leon, on him. And now you actually get to a final and it's on you.
Yes. Spot on.
Where did Sterling starting come from?
I don't get
what form is Sterling in? What form has Sterling been in? They're talking about Sterling going Arsenal. It wouldn't surprise me because that's a perfect fit.
Nah, he's better than Arsenal. Let's not do that to Raheem Sterling. He's better than Arsenal.
This season, he's not been better than Arsenal.
He's better. Nah, he's better than 8th place. He's like, he could do a West Ham. Come on, fam. He could go West Ham with Lingard.
Come on now. It's just like, come on now. Like, what on earth? But the thing is, it's like, there's zero criticism for him. None. And that's the thing that winds me up the most. Because everyone talks about, Klopp used the bottle finals.
Yeah, I remember that.
Really? So it's like, yeah. Pep. So here's the thing.
Go on.
Klopp got to 2 back-to-back Champions League finals and won 1.
What did he get there back-to-back?
It was 2.
Oh yeah, because you lost to Madrid. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I did forget. You're spot on.
So 2 back-to-back Champions League finals. Look at the squad that he had.
Yeah, he overachieved. Yeah, that wasn't a quality squad. Great first 11, but behind that,
3 times the money.
Yeah, and you do have a better squad.
And he's got Origi coming on off the bench and banging one in the last minute. Origi, right? So when you look at the Barcelona game, there was no Salah, no Firmino. We had Shaqiri and Origi up front with Mane. Against Barcelona, they were 3-0 up.
Yeah.
You know what Pep would have done in that game, don't you? If he was our manager, he'd have just changed it randomly, and he'd have bottled it then. For the life of me, how this man escapes criticism is it's beyond me. It's because this game you played right into Chelsea's hands, and Chelsea played phenomenal at times. By the way, I thought defensively they were unbelievable. Kante was. Well, you could do an hour segment on him. He's that good. Because that's what happens when you play a defensive midfielder in a game where you need a defensive midfielder. You get performances like that. How dare you think you can dominate for 90 minutes like that? Because it's not going to happen. Especially when they're playing 2 false 10s.
I hear you. Big up to Peter Wilder. He says, City were reduced to long throws into the box with Aguero and Jesus up top. Hundreds of million attackers to play new age Stoke football. Prime says, Stroll, as soon as I saw City's lineup, I knew, he put new in capital letters, Chelsea would win the final. Peter also said, Werner hit his standing leg on a cutback and fired straight at Edison when played through. City were won twice before the goal came. Pulisic missed a golden chance to make it 2-0 as well. Peter also goes on to say they got beat 4 out of 5 of the best chances in the match fell to Chelsea. Big up to Zane, who says, bless up my bros. Big up to Zane each and every time.
This is my point. From a tactical point of view, right? When you look at City's lineup, you expect them to have most of the ball. They did, right? What's the one then threat that they are exposed to? The counter-attack. If you play defensive midfielder, you nullify 90% of that because he will pick up pockets of space defensively, which will nullify any counter-attack happening before it even progresses into your half. So then you can squeeze up the pitch, you can pin them in, and you can just keep picking second balls off, third balls off. And then it becomes like a training session for City. And then Chelsea's back's against the wall, and it's like a brick wall effect. They kick it, it's coming back. Because you play a defensive midfielder. When you don't do that, there's so much space for Mount to operate in, for Havertz to operate in. I mean, specifically, look at their Chelsea's goal, right? It starts on the left-hand side, which is the area that I said they were struggling with the most. Chilwell, pocket of space into Mount. Mount's then able to turn, because there's no defensive midfielder or nowhere near him, and he plays the ball into an area of space where the defensive midfielder would have been.
Yeah, true.
Havertz makes the run across Zinchenko or Diaz, one of them, goes past Edison, who was very lucky, by the way, because if Havertz goes down there, he's getting sent off because he handballs
do you handball it outside of the box as well?
And then it's just a composed finish. It is a very composed finish. But it's like, for the life of me, I just don't understand. The Sterling one, it's the no defensive midfielder that I have the biggest issue with.
Yeah, that's the major problem. The Sterling one just added to it as well. Yeah,
no, because the Sterling one is associated to the defensive midfielder. He decided not to play the defensive midfielder and play Sterling instead.
Yeah, it's a strange one.
So look, do you see my point? Because when that starts off, it starts off on Chilwell.
Yeah, it's a weird goal to concede, though, to be honest. When you look at it, it's a proper strange goal.
But this is the point that I'm making. Look, it starts off in Mendy's hands.
Yeah.
Right? Look where Mahrez is. Right, stop it there now. This is the point that I'm making. Right? Look at where Havertz is. Havertz is on the wrong side automatically, right?
Yeah, of Zinchenko. Zinchenko should be goal side there.
Look where Gundogan is.
Yeah.
he's in a wrong position, but look where Mount is. Exactly what I said to you.
Yeah.
Because there's no one near him. So when the ball goes into him, play it on, and then watch as he turns and then pause it, turn. No. Right? Look at where Gundogan's position is.
Yeah.
A proper defensive midfielder
is in that gap between Zinchenko and Stones.
He's there.
Why is Diaz and Stones so out? Yeah, go on, carry on. We're going to get to that.
Passing lane automatically. That ball never goes through. They don't go 1-0 down. If you play an actual defensive midfielder.
Yeah, or someone with defensive nous in there. Yeah.
Gundogan isn't that. Gundogan's been their top goal scorer this season, I think. And you're playing him defensive midfielder. What are you doing? That they score from you not playing the defensive midfielder because either one, the defensive midfielder is tight to Mount as he's turning and he ain't able to make that pass, or let's say that he's dropped off a bit, he cuts that passing lane automatically. Instantly. The lack of leadership at the back is absolutely beyond me, by the way, because is that Diaz?
That's Diaz is here. This is Diaz. That's Stones.
That's Stones, right?
Actually, wait. Yeah, I think so. Let me play this on. Yeah, that's I was right.
So then here's the other thing, right? Because if I've watched a lot of City over the years, Fernandinho is one of them. He will always check his shoulders. So if he checks his shoulder and he sees Zinchenko in the finger, he's automatically saying you need to tuck in more. Because it's also a Zinchenko problem because the fact that he's like Havertz made that run.
But
the whole defensive system there is just falling apart.
Yeah.
Because why is that?
They're not holding midfielder.
Nope. Why has the two centre backs? Why are they in the position that
they were in bad positions anyway? Even if a DM's there, like they shouldn't be that. They shouldn't be that far apart.
But why?
I have no idea. Go on, tell me.
So go back just before he plays the ball. As a defense, you're told to keep tight and move across. Pause it now. Chilwell, wide.
Yeah.
Walker gets dragged out.
Yeah.
Diaz then gets dragged out into the pockets of space because look at where. So look.
I don't understand.
So Diaz should be tight to Mount. If he's going to go into that position, you've got to go all the way. You can't half commit.
Is that Diaz or Stones? This is the same.
And then
I think it's Stones.
But then look at Werner's movement.
Yeah.
His movement is arcing and it takes Diaz away, which means that Havertz can go into that. So and this is what I said to you at the beginning of the show, all of their problems came down that left-hand side. And that's exactly where the first goal comes from. But the defensive midfielder cuts 90% of any of the counter-attacks out.
Yeah.
He's standing in that passing lane. Mount can't make that pass as easy as it is. It was an unbelievable pass, by the way. But if Fernandinho's there, he's cutting that out instantly. And then they go again. Then there's the second phase of play where Manchester City are on top of him again. That's how you have dominance and you have control over a game. Not by playing no defensive midfielder, by playing look at the difference when we put Fabinho back into our midfield.
Yeah, he makes a massive difference.
We can sustain attacks.
100%. Yeah,
so if you're Pep Guardiola, who was known for, you've got 10 seconds to get the ball back, sustain attacks. How are you not playing a defensive midfield in the biggest game of your career, arguably?
Yep.
It's on him.
Facts.
And like I said, everything came down that left-hand side for Chelsea for the first half an hour. Yeah. And then when it did come down Reece James's side, he was just putting it into an area of space and Werner was running onto it and he was causing them so many problems. But all that comes from the lack of support that Diaz, Stones, Zinchenko and Walker had because there was no defensive midfielder. They were exposed and they were just left to drown. And that's exactly what happened. And it's on Pep. That is the biggest mistake he's made in his career.
Yeah.
The biggest. And it's on him at the biggest moment as well. I don't want to hear Champions League in 2011 with Messi. That team, you should be winning the Champions League.
Yeah.
Villa in his prime. Messi in his prime. Like, what we're talking about now. Do you know what I mean? Like, they should be. And then Pedro, he was just coming into his prime. And then Xavi, Busquets, Iniesta, Puyol, Piqué in his prime. Do you know what I mean? Like, you should be winning the Champions League with that. Honestly, it's a disgrace.
Ryan says here, Pep is still the best in the world. It's still the best in the world for me, but my God, serious questions need to be asked of him in the Champions League. Peter says, Pep tried to rely on inverted fullbacks and a central overload to win second balls. Just play Fernandinho or Rodri. Ryan also says, I don't want to hear these Diaz Van Dijk debates. See, I've been getting too excited. Have some respect for Virgil. And Kian says, do you think if we had Fernandinho in holding midfield on the false nine, we would have won the league? Oh, Champions League, you mean?
Yeah.
It definitely increases your chances, yeah.
No, it doesn't increase the chances. They win the Champions League by that. No, honestly, they do.
I don't know about that. I can't say for sure in it. I'm not that confident in that because I know how good Chelsea are defensively and how resilient they are. Chelsea are a good side.
No, Chelsea are a very good side. But if City play a proper defensive midfielder, right? What can then do is it can transform not only your defense or how you defend in terms of counterattacks and stuff like that, but offensively as well in terms of Kyle Walker can bomb on a lot more because he's got the stability and defensive stability of Fernandinho on the inside.
Yeah.
So there's another body which overloads the attacking areas and your wide areas, which then creates pockets of space for the likes of De Bruyne when he drifts in as a false nine. So it has that impact. And how Pep doesn't see that is absolutely beyond me.
Yeah, because Prime is saying City played a DM, Rodri in the Premier League and Chelsea won. So I can't guarantee and say that they would have. Does it increase their chances 100% if they play their best team? 100%. Or who's to say Fernandinho or Rodri don't play and they have a bad game? There's so many variables. Does it increase that? Yes, of course.
But at the same time, the substitutions were awful by Pep.
Yeah, bringing on Gabby Jesus before Sergio Aguero was madness. I don't understand that. I failed to get that.
It's the fact that he kept Sterling on. Sterling was the worst player on the pitch at the time, and he really was. And this man said that he wants to leave Liverpool to win Champions League. Nah, how's that gone for you, mate?
Sky, you pay, man. That's very petty. But yeah, my thoughts on it is Pep's done this before in the Champions League, and he's done it again. Yeah, and now it's given
away with it.
That's a black mark. In mainstream media, yes. On social media and platforms like ours, absolutely not. You've got to open the show. How long are we into the show? We are half an hour into the show. That's all we spoke about for half an hour. Look at social media the day of the final, the night of the final, and afterwards he's still getting people doubting him. Like people are still going. That's all I see pure down my timeline is Chelsea fans obviously celebrating Pep slander, and it's deserved at the end of the day because he's flopped. He's flopped in a final because had he won the final, we're having a whole different conversation. People were trying to put him in GOAT category. I said this man wasn't a GOAT. Great manager. Absolutely phenomenal manager. If he retired tomorrow, his status is solidified. What he's done is solidified. But comparing him to GOATs when we start talking about Fergie and things, he's not there yet. Could he still get there? 100%. No. He could still get there.
Not to Fergie.
He could still get there. No, what I'm saying is if he comes here and dominates, he stays. This is highly unlikely, but this is just me saying it. If he stays at City for the next, he's been there, 5 years? If he stays there now for the next 15 years or so, he's been there 20 years.
Oh, yeah, if he stays there for 20 years, but that ain't going to happen.
That's not going to happen. He wins. That's my point.
He will go back to PSG. And people, he'll go to Barcelona or he'll end up at PSG.
And people get that mistaken when I say he can be in a conversation. He's not there yet because his career's not over. If this is 2010, we're having the same conversation about Mourinho. Yeah. It's the exact people forget this, that football is very reactionary. If this is 2010, Mourinho's coming off a treble with Inter Milan, going to Real Madrid. We're having a conversation about Mourinho, about Mourinho being in the GOAT category, and he was on that trajectory. What he did from 2003 to 2010 was exceptional. Now, fast forward from 10 years ago, 11 years ago now, from 2010 to 2021, Mourinho's being sacked by Spurs and managing Roma. That could be Pep. We don't know where that's going to go.
He's about to buy Granit Xhaka.
And he's about to buy Granit Xhaka. If someone would have told me or you that, especially me in 2010, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I would have put money on that not happening. No. Who's to say in 2031, 10 years from now, Pep is still not there?
So, like I said, one thing I want to do is move on to Chelsea. Because
we're going to give Chelsea their flowers. Give me my flowers for being right about Tuchel. But carry on.
Because they are, listen, the setup on the final, Tuchel, he got it horribly wrong against Leicester. He got it absolutely spot on in this final. And that's all you ask for from a manager. When you make a mistake, you learn from your mistakes. And he learned from his mistakes. Because that was a high-profile loss.
We get to this, because Prime says if Jose did something stupid in his Champions League final like that, people are on his neck, same energy. Yeah, I get that. But my point is about Jose is he got criticism as well. Because he was supposed to come to Chelsea, and win the Champions League. Never did that. Like I say, all managers have black marks against him, and that's what he was supposed to do. So go on, carry on talking about Tuchel. My bad.
Yeah, like I said, when you look at the Leicester FA Cup final loss, a lot of it fell on Tuchel. His substitutions were wrong. His lineup was wrong, and all I ask for in terms of managers, whether they're managing our team or my team specifically, is if you're going to make a mistake, learn from it. Don't make the same mistake again. This is why United fans have so much problems with Ole. They got onto Ole shortly because he makes the same mistakes time and time and time again. Pep in the Champions League, time and time and time again. Tuchel learned from his mistake. The setup, foundational-wise, was solid, right? Frank Lampard, let me talk to you for a minute, sunshine. You genuinely, you weren't playing Aspilicueta. You weren't playing Rudiger. You weren't playing Kante in his right position. There's no more that needs to be said. This man was actually happy for Chelsea to sell Kante. Just let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah.
This man, who was meant to be a Chelsea legend, a footballing Premier League legend, was happy to let Kante leave. He should never manage a football team again if he's coming with that kind of knowledge and experience. It is a disgrace. Look at the performance Kante put in the quarter-final, semi-final, final. Unbelievable, right? Reece James on the right-hand side was helped out a lot by the experience of Aspilicueta.
Yeah.
The reason why Reece James has looked so shaky this season at times is because he's not had the person with the experience. So when he's playing that system, right, and this is why I love the three at the back, which is why I for the life of me, don't understand why Southgate, although he's going to play it, he's not going to pick the right personnel for it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Story. Yeah. Reece James has got the experience of Aspilicueta on the inside, right? Which means that when Reece James goes forward, they can just revert to a back four.
Right.
When Chilwell goes forward, they can just revert to a back four. And defensively, you're always solid because you're always moving across. So if Reece James has to go out and press Zinchenko, they can just revert over. And you're always defensively sound. That setup was excellent. Jorginho and Kante in the middle, excellent. Mount in the 10, but like inverted on the inside. Same with Havertz. You just expose Manchester City's lineup completely.
Yeah.
Because all that does is you think you're going to dominate the ball, bang, there's one pass through the lines, and then you're through. Yeah. Werner's movement, his finishing was absolutely criminal. But his movement...
Yeah, we know his movement. It's just his finishing. We know that.
His movement was exceptional. Because within the first time they got out and they sprung, they nearly scored. And you're like, this is going to be the same thing for Manchester City over and over again.
Yeah.
You know what? I felt sorry for Thiago Silva. I really did. But I know Lewis is going to like this. Christensen came in and did not put a foot wrong. He was
he's about to pop up. You get me up the Chelsea. That's what he's about to say, or some nonsense that.
He was absolutely exceptional when he came on because it's difficult. One, when you come in as a manager, you don't want to change your centre backs because it can mess up everything in terms. It can have a ripple effect on the rest of the team, especially if your centre back starts unconfident, right? You would have thought that Christensen started the entire game. Didn't make a foot wrong. Sterling, like I said at the beginning of the show, he made Reece James look like Cafu. Reece James had an excellent game, but Sterling's touch was so poor when he was put through.
Yep.
Every single time, you were just giving Reece James the chance to just get back and nick it off you. I thought Aspilicueta had a solid game. But the one man I want to talk about is Rudiger. The man that was left out in the cold.
Yes. Go on, go for him. I'm letting you go.
You were happy to, at one point, let us get him. We were linked with him in January, and you nearly let him come to us.
Yeah.
You were happy to let him leave Chelsea. He's been Chelsea's best centre-back for the past 6 months. What are we talking about?
Don't let Lewis hear you say that, but carry on.
No, he has, though. You look at him.
I like Rudiger. I do like Rudiger. I think he fits, in terms of attributes, he fits, especially Premier League. Quick, strong, tenacious, good in the air.
It's like, look at him in the Champions League. Phenomenal one. At home against Leicester in the Premier League. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's like, you look at him in the Champions League final, he was absolutely solid, and he gave everything on that pitch.
Yeah.
Now, the moment with De Bruyne is unfortunate. It's a yellow card. My issue is when a player goes off over something as cynical as that, that needs to be looked at. Because it's like, yes, it's a yellow card, but it's so cynical.
Rudiger knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah, no, he knew exactly what he was doing. I mean, look.
I've just seen it there now. We're just showing it again. Yeah. Man, like Rudiger.
But, like I said, took one for the team. And like I said, I thought Tuchel got it absolutely spot on. Even his substitutions, Tuchel, spot on. Because he nearly put Zuma on.
Yeah, that would have been wrong.
Yeah. And then about a minute in, he was like, no. Then Christensen comes on and just solidifies that defence.
Right.
Mendy's a good goalkeeper. He's not a great goalkeeper. He's a good goal. He has got flaws. His kicking is awful at times. You stopped him having to kick the ball constantly. Yeah. And you played into his strengths. I thought he was excellent in terms of claiming the ball from crosses and stuff like that, especially when obviously City had corners and throw-ins towards the end. Jorginho was great in terms of slowing the game down when needed. Because in a final like that, yes, you need a bit of luck. You need a few decisions to go your way. But what you need first and foremost is someone to grab hold of the game. Kante was everywhere. But what Jorginho did was, when needed to, he wasn't afraid to go to one of the wide centre-backs and start again, to slow the game right down. Because at that point, they're 1-0 up, they don't need to speed the game up. It's on Manchester City to take the onus and take the game by the scruff of the neck. Chelsea don't. Chelsea are in a winning position.
Yeah.
So Jorginho, to have that kind of experience and that game management was really good to see, because he was going out, I'm not going to force a pass and get hit on the break and then cost us a goal. No. I'm going to start again. Let's look for Rudiger. Let's look for Aspilicueta. Is Reece James or Chilwell wide? Is Mason Mount coming into a position where I can play the ball and potentially receive it back? Yeah. His game management was excellent. And like I said, Werner ran a lot, and he worked that defense really well. Yeah, Pulisic came on, and this is what I'm saying by the substitution. He got Pulisic on to do the exact same thing, and he nearly benefited from it.
Tuchel's a smart guy. Yeah, Tuchel, he's a very competent manager. You get me? He's a clever operator. Prime says, guys, what's your thoughts on Jorginho's career at Chelsea? He divides opinion amongst Chelsea fans. Never got it, never will. To me, he looks like a quality player. Don't understand why you would be on someone's back like that. To me, he looks like a good player.
These are the same Chelsea fans that at the beginning of the season was like, oh, Mason Mount's only starting because he's Lampard's son. Have you...
True say, there was Chelsea fans as well who didn't want Lampard gone, and I still like... Lampard, it was wrong to suck Lampard. I've seen that after this. Less so, but definitely when they lost the FA Cup final, when it looked like they might not get top 4, I've seen that across my socials saying, yeah, it was wrong to sack Frank Lampard. This is what happens though when you have a good team or great squad, but you have quality players in a side and you get a manager who's quality also. This is what you get. This is the response you get. Because nobody, when Lampard was sacked and Chelsea were level on points with Arsenal in 9th or 8th or wherever it was, were like, Chelsea should win the Champions League. They should make the Champions League final. They made top 4. They got to a FA Cup final and won the Champions League. So, and this was my point on Tuchel. I said this about Tuchel. I said this when we did the very show. And me, you, and JV was rating all of the teams' transfer windows. The reason why I give Chelsea so high, I think I give them the 9 out of 10, which was the highest, because I looked at their squad, what they had before that. When they added to it, I said the only thing that will stop Chelsea from being successful is if Lampard's not good enough, because we didn't know. We found out Lampard's not good enough. They got a manager who is good enough, and look at the results.
Yeah, and to be fair,
you could argue they're favourites for the Premier League, and they're up there for the Champions League as well.
And to be fair, that's why I gave Chelsea so low, because they did have Lampard, and I knew he would be the reason why it would fall apart. And did I not say that?
Yeah, you did say that. I give you props for that. You did say that. You did say that.
Me and Phil said he would be one of the first managers to get sacked.
Yeah, Saeed said that as well, actually, on here. When he was last on here, he was like, Lampard's be the first manager to get sacked. I'm calling it now. And lo and behold, he was right. But yeah, that's why I rated him so high, because I wasn't rating it on the manager. I was just saying the window they had.
Yeah.
The players they was adding to that squad. Now they're maybe a destroyer DM, which Lewis and other Chelsea fans have said to me, and a striker away from being more complete. And it'd be interesting to see.
Striker.
Yeah, striker specifically, and a DM. Be interesting to see how Tuchel adds to this. Like, now they've won the Champions League. Does he see? He has to stick with the back three. Same way, I think if City had won the Champions League, Pep sticks with the false 9. But now they've lost it, he might go out and get a proper number 9. Or he might be like, you know what? He got me to a final. I won 2 out of the over 4 trophies and got to a semi-final in the FA Cup. I stick with this. But to me, Tuchel, he sticks with the back three. He has to stick with the back three. That's just me, though.
You will.
He has to stick with the back three. I think if it was unsuccessful and they just finished 4th, he probably reverts back and goes to a flat back 4.
Because it's like with my team, I play a back three.
Yeah.
So the team I manage, I like to play a back three. And the reason why is because there's so many different things you can do with it. So you can play the three in the wing backs, right? You can play a 3-4-3, and you can have a right midfielder and a left midfielder and the 2 centre midfielders, and then right winger. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can play
gives you options.
Yeah. You can play the 3 wing backs, 2 midfielders, 1 attacking midfielder, and 2 up top.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do with it, and you can change it throughout the game as well. And it's such a good system if you know how to implement it properly. And
Definitely.
with Tuchel is, you look at their players, they suit it. Like Marcus Alonso is more suited to be a left wing back than anything else.
Oh yeah, he's a wing back all day long.
But it's like you look at Chilwell, he's tucked that position really well. But you could play Chilwell as one of the left centre backs, and you wouldn't have a problem.
If you really wanted to, it is an option.
Same with Reece James. You could play Reece James where Aspilicueta is, because he's good enough for it.
Yeah.
And this is my biggest problem with Gareth Southgate is you're gonna take Kyle Walker to play him as one of the right centre backs when you've got Reece James there, who's absolutely perfect. But cool, leave Trent. Thank you. Yeah. He needs a rest pre-season. You've just done me a world of favours. But like I said, I thought Tuchel got it absolutely spot on. And are they going to be one of the favourites for the Premier League next season? Yeah, they'll be up there.
100%. Yeah, 100% one of the favourites for it.
It'll be very, very interesting to
100%.
see what kind of, because our window started. You know, City are going to go in the next couple of weeks because they're going to be fuming about the Champions League. Chelsea will go again because they need a striker.
Yeah.
Werner's not it. He's not great squad, but he's not it. He is not the man that's going to score you 30, 35 goals. He's just not. So so it'll be interesting to see where they go in terms of that and who they're looking at. They're talking about Lukaku, but it'll be interesting to see. Moving on to the other European final, where the other Manchester team fell short.
Before we even get to that, so as I was saying about Tuchel, and this is what happens, I just need to reiterate this point, because I said this, Tuchel will come in and be successful there. As you've seen, you could see what he implemented quickly. And this is why I'm so critical. The reason why I did that, because that's a lovely segue into what you was talking about.
I was literally just about to say what you're about to say.
There you go. When you have a quality squad, whether it's imbalanced, which Manchester United squad is imbalanced, is it a perfect squad? No. Did Chelsea have a better squad than Manchester United? Yes. Is Chelsea squad perfect? No. But what Tuchel went and done is didn't sign one of his players, didn't have no money to spend. He utilized what he had to the fullest. Something Oli didn't do in the final and hasn't done all season and hasn't done as long as I've been Oli out, which is since 2019. Because this man and this manager, he's just not good enough. And we've seen all of his deficiencies and all of his weaknesses on the grand stage. There was nowhere to hide from him. The world is watching. The whole of Europe is watching. It's a European Cup final. And he's shown himself not to be up to the job. There's no getting beat by Spurs 6-1, but then Villa beat Liverpool, lose to Villa 7-2, and it takes the gloss of it. There's nowhere to hide when that's the only game on. And it's all eyes on it. Go on, carry on.
From an outsider point of view, it was interesting because you see Manchester United, right? And then it's heightened by Chelsea and what they've done is they got rid of a club legend because he wasn't good enough to manage Chelsea going forward, to win them the big trophies and to challenge for the big trophies. They went out and got a competent manager. Then you've got Manchester United, who were on the other side, who have got a club legend in charge who isn't good enough.
Yeah.
He isn't going to make you challenge for the top trophies and the big trophies in terms of Champions League, Premier League while he's there, because tactically he's not good enough. His in-game management is poor and it's not good enough. And he's shown again the red herrings that he's been showing for the past 18 months with not just United fans, with football fans in general, with his substitutions, how late he's leaving it, the type of substitution and him always reverting back to type, not good enough. So it's like Chelsea have just give you the blueprint.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're just so reluctant to use it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like you look at the Europa League final. Now, he didn't make a substitution until what, the 100th minute?
100th minute, you're right.
He brings off...
Love to my guy Lewis in the comments, even though he's chatting breeze, but we're going to get to that. Carry on.
And he brings off the best player on the pitch at that time in Paul Pogba.
Nah, he brought off Greenwood first.
Right, no, so, yeah, but I'm talking... So, Greenwood came off first. I'm talking about the Pogba substitution.
Oh, you're taking off the Pogba to put on Dan James. Yes, Pogba was good in the first half. He was poor in the second half, but you leave him on when you're in a final. Especially
when you've got Rashford in the form that he's in, and he wasn't good.
And Rashford was awful. Rashford was awful, and Bruno and Rashford were our two worst attacking players.
And it's like you take Greenwood off, who is you're most likely to do something out of nothing in terms of take a touch, keepers off, like he just takes a shot and he'll score because he hits it quick.
Yeah, facts. You don't let the keeper get set.
But it's not even that. It's like, so you go 1-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long was left after that when you equalised?
When we equalised, there was time. 1 second, I'll be able to tell you now. Let me just... There was time left, though.
No, because in my head, I'm thinking 30, 35 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was in the second half, but I can't remember exactly. 1 second.
But this is the point that I'm making is, at that point, Villarreal won the ropes.
100%.
Well and truly on the ropes. And all you have to do is make positive changes at that point, and that wins you the game.
Yep.
Change the system. Change the formation.
I'm glad you're saying this and not me.
Do something.
55 minutes, Cavani scored.
55. You've got practically 40 minutes to go and nick a goal.
Yeah, against Villarreal.
That's it.
Huh? 1.
Look at Manchester United's team.
Yeah.
More than good enough.
You're saying it.
Go 2 up top.
Yep.
Go 4-4-2.
Mm-hmm.
Go with a diamond in 2 up top. Do something. Nothing till the 100th minute.
Yep.
The man should be sacked for actually bringing Fergie out and watching him hand the trophy over to Villarreal. You should be sacked for that alone.
Yeah.
Just for that. For the life of me, right? And listen, I understand that fans are very protective of players that they love, but when's it going to be a time where people are just saying enough's enough? Because it's just like... Does it not bother you watching us win the Premier League and the Champions League in back-to-back seasons? Is it not bothering you when you see a Chelsea and City Champions League final? You're seeing City
and Liverpool trade the Champions League and Premier League in multiple years, consecutive years. Yeah,
and it's just like when's
possibly
when's that going to light the fire for some United fans saying, you know what, we're Manchester United,
United Football Club,
biggest club in the world. Let's not get it mistaken. The biggest club in the world, and you're acting like you're Arsenal. That's the thing that bothers me the most. You're just living off past glory, and it's just like you've got Allegri there. You've got managers that can make an immediate impact.
I'm glad you're saying this and not me. That's why I'm just being quiet and letting you go. I'm letting you cook. You're cooking right now.
An immediate impact, though. Even Conte.
Yes.
Look at what Conte's just done.
Yes.
Anyone is better than Ole at this point. Because Ole is the most inexperienced manager in the entire league. Yep. And I'm even talking about the Premier League teams or the teams in the Championship that have just come up. They've got more experienced managers than what United have. We're not talking about Manchester City when they were first taken over in 2004 with no history or nothing like that. We're talking about Manchester United Football Club. A club built on history. Theatre of dreams. And look at the state of that. The roof's rotting. It's not the same stadium because you just aren't interested in what you actually need to have. As Manchester United, you need to have domestic success. You need to have success as a football club. Because if you're all about the money, that's fine. Because success on the pitch means success off the pitch in terms of revenue, kit deals, sponsorships, everything.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And it's sad to see. From a football fan, as a Liverpool fan, I love it because you are just going down the exact same path that we went on for them dark 30 years. You're hiring ex-legends. We had Souness. He ran us into the ground. He bought a player off the recommendation of an agent. He didn't even watch him play.
Yeah.
He was awful.
Yeah.
And it's like, I look at Ole and yes, I understand that he's happy to be there. And yes, he smiles a lot. Obviously, because he cannot believe he's still there and he's still getting away with these mistakes time and time again. The Champions League, let's just break it down for a second, right? You had 1 point to get in your last 2 games and you qualify.
Yes.
Fred gets booked early.
Yes.
He then goes into a challenge directly after that, and his head goes. He goes head to head with someone. He headbutts him or does something. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, he should have been sent off for what he got booked for. I thought he was going to get sent off. Yes, you're correct.
Did he or not headbutt someone?
He was it? I can't remember exactly what it was. So whatever he did, yeah, it was an incident. That's what we'll say.
Went to VAR, and he gets away with it. Me, he goes there.
Yeah.
I don't care if you've got to wait another 2 minutes to half time. He goes there.
Yeah, he goes there.
You then got 15 minutes with him. What has he said during them 15 minutes which thinks, you know what, I trust him, he's going to stay on the pitch for 90 minutes? No, you take him off. 1 point. All you need.
1 point.
Because you explained to Fred, this isn't about you. This is for the sake of the team. And what's good for the team is when your head's not on it and you're going to cost us 3 points because you get yourself sent off and then we have to go away to Leipzig and it's a make or break game. I don't trust it. I'm the manager. This is my team. I make the decision. Off you come. And then when you go through, because you would have gone through at that point, you then look at him and say, exactly my point. Now you listen to me and we go again.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Facts.
He's letting the inmates run the asylum at times.
Yep.
Because you see when Bruno got brought off at Anfield, his reaction. Yeah. You see Pogba when he's being brought off, you see his reaction because they don't respect him as a manager because he's not a competent, good manager. He's just there.
You're singing, fam.
And this is the thing that bothers me the most.
You singing, fam, yo, you preaching to the choir going, that's why I'm letting you cook.
No, because this is the thing that bothers me the most in terms of Manchester United fans.
Yeah.
Is look at all the hard work Fergie put in. From when he first taken over and listen, I've watched a lot of the Fergie interviews lately in terms of Gary Neville, and he talks about how he hated losing to Liverpool. And he's like, no, I had the biggest respect for Liverpool because I knew if we beat Liverpool in the season, we were there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
We're talking about the greatest manager ever, right? Yes. And this is coming from a Liverpool fan. The greatest manager I've seen in my lifetime. Now, I will always love Klopp. When I started managing a team, I would go back and look at certain Fergie quotes and Fergie documentaries and stuff like that because this man is unchallenged. And listen, I'm not saying that it was... Listen, the reason why Moyes failed was because it's an impossible job to take on after Fergie, right? You then had Van Gaal, a 15 times better manager than Ole. You had Mourinho, who was a serial winner.
Yeah.
And he's telling you that the biggest success in his career is making that squad finish second. You then go to Solskjaer. Perfect stopgap. Did phenomenal when he was the interim manager. And I understand why you give him the contract. I do, because of the job that he did, phenomenal. But when it goes the way it goes, you have to cut ties. You have to be ruthless because football is a business. This is a results business. He's not getting the results in terms of you had Champions League qualification. And this is the thing. He made the mistake in not taking Fred off, right?
Yeah.
You can rectify that mistake if you go and win the Europa League. But his in-game management has let him down again because he's not good enough as a manager for Manchester United.
Nope.
He's more suited for an Everton.
He's not even Everton level. Let's keep it real.
No, but like genuinely.
Not even Everton level.
No, but this is the point. We're talking about Manchester United. When I was growing up in Stretford, when I was going to high school, Stretford High, where you could literally throw something, you'd hit Old Trafford, it was there. I remember Manchester United getting the best players. The greatest players in the world at the time. Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yep.
In his pomp. Cantona's.
Yes.
Trendsetters. Global icons. Ronaldo. Van Persie just plucking in from Arsenal because you were Manchester United and you could do that. Do you know why you could do that? Because you had the best manager at the time in the world at your club. You can't do that now. Who's Solskjaer? You should have got Haaland. Even he didn't want to go.
And Haaland's, he's managed him before as well.
Exactly
That's the
my
part.
point. And he knows his deficiencies. And it's just like, honestly, United fans, you need to wake up and smell the coffee.
United fans are all in, by the way, people.
Solskjaer is a United legend. No one's taking that away from him.
No.
He is not good enough to be a Manchester United manager. It's as simple as that.
Facts.
Simple as that.
Joe Stroh said it, and we're going to get to that. But you said it better than I could have said it. Kathy Lewis says, champions of Europe, we know what we are. He says, flawless, we're coming for your record now. It's highly probable, actually. 98th minute was the first sub, and it was Fred, says Peter. Yeah, facts. Stroh, that's why I let you go off, because I think the reason why I just let you go off and didn't interrupt too much, because if I say that, or you have an agenda, or you just don't like Oli, blah, blah. When you're a fan of our biggest rival club, and look how passionate you're talking about it. You're saying the same thing I'm saying. Different words, but you're saying the same thing I'm saying about this manager not being good enough. The fact that you don't fear him as a threat. There's no fear. You know what I'm saying? This next season, Liverpool are looking to get back their Premier League title. You're looking at City and Chelsea, am I lying?
Yeah.
They're the two teams you're looking at. You're not concerned about us.
No, because this is the thing, and United fans are going to turn around and say, yeah, but we finished above you this season. You should have finished above us this season.
Yeah.
With the injuries that we've had, with everything that we've been through as a club this season, if you didn't finish above us, that's criminal. Now, Chelsea got away with one because I was coming for all the smoke for Lewis, for everyone, in terms of the fact that you let us finish third. But you know what they did? They went and won the Champions League.
Yes. They went and did something bigger than finishing third or fourth in the Premier League.
Exactly.
They won the biggest trophy in Europe.
Fourth anyway, so they've been in the Champions League.
Regardless, yeah.
So they went and did their job. Manchester United, and they said this, when you came to Anfield, City hadn't hit their stride yet.
Yeah.
You win at Anfield, which you should have done if Ollie would have sown a bit of bottle.
Yeah.
Because after the first 30 minutes, not only did it show that we can be got at because we didn't have Fabinho in defensive midfield, we had Henderson and Fabinho at centre-back. You should have gone for that.
Yeah.
Because for the second half, you were in control. If you'd have made the right substitutions at the right times, that could have changed the game on its head.
Yeah.
Not only do you then take our record from us, that's our title done. So there's that effect. But then the impact it has on you in terms of confidence and the boost that it has in the squad, and it's like we've just gone away to the champions and we've just got rid of their record. You can ride on that for 2-3 months and then look where you are. You are in a legitimate title race. But no, he bottled it. He bottled it in the final. He bottled it against PSG, and he bottled it against us in terms of his substitutions. Not good enough. It's as simple as that.
Facts. Passion Merchant says United have the tallest squad in the league. City, Liverpool, Leicester, Leeds, Chelsea are in the top 7 shortest. Some people say these teams play the best football. Elaborate on that, please, Passion Merchant. But I'm glad you said all you said, because I couldn't have put it any better. All of his deficiencies got shown. If you're still Ollie in now, I don't know what to. You have the agenda. I don't have no agenda. I would fully love to be wrong on Ollie. I've said this. I'm more interested in Manchester United being successful than being right about this manager. All the things that the Ollie in say about Ollie, I want to be true. I want him to be as good a manager, as great as manager as people say he is. I want to believe we can win and can compete for the top prizes with this manager. And when I say top prizes, I'm talking Champions Leagues and Premier League. I want to believe we can play better football with the players, play better football than we currently are with this manager. I want to believe that give me hope that we can win your second and third tier trophies, your FA Cups, your League Cups, your Europa Leagues. I wasn't even confident going into Villarreal. I thought we would win, but I say the same thing I say each and every time about Manchester United in every game. What do I always say, Stro? It's on the players. That's what gives me faith, because we are individual brilliance FC. And we see it in the final when the individual brilliance didn't work. Greenwood wasn't at it. Cavani wasn't at it. Rashford was terrible. Bruno was terrible. Pogba was terrible in the second half. That's the 4 he's relying on. After I said this, you hear me? You're relying on Cavani, Rashford, Greenwood, Bruno, Pogba. That's the 5 he's relied on. Because that's the 5 he's relied on to carry him to second. They're the 5 who have carried him at different points to this Europa League final. They're the 5. All the good stats, us being unbeaten away from home, is on that 5. But when none of those 5 turn up, there's nothing else. He can't win without, it has to be a piece of magic.
No, but this is the point. So you look at Fergie and look at Klopp and Pep in terms of certain things, and even Tuchel, for an example, right? There is going to be games as a manager. I've known this from experience, not at this level, but I've seen it, where your players aren't at it. You need a spark. You need something.
Yeah.
That's why your substitutions are so important, because they can change the complexity of a game in an instant if you make the right substitution. So look at Klopp, for example, where we're going into the last 10 games, we're 8th, about to go into 9th. 10 points off 4th. Klopp goes, right, let's tweak this slightly. Robertson, you hang back a lot more. So when we go forward, we go to a flat 3. Trent, I need you to bomb forward. Fabinho, you're going back into defensive mid. Now I've got 2 inexperienced centre-backs.
Yeah.
But going forward and defensively, with you helping out and mopping up, we're good enough to win games and pick points up, and that's what we need at this point.
Yeah.
We finished 3rd. Just a slight tweak.
But that's what manager does. He earned his money.
Exactly. And then
earned his money.
How many times did you see this?
For those that can't see, Stroll's pointing at his imaginary watch.
Fergie, because what did that do?
Yeah, it instilled the players' minds in terms of his own team, like, all right, we got to go for this. And he put fear in opposition as well.
Exactly.
Put fear in opposition as well.
That's the biggest thing.
It's in their mind games.
The second they see that, they're thinking, oh, this is about to be the longest 10
minutes. Yes.
And then they start to panic, and then they start doing stuff they weren't doing all the way throughout the game in terms of, you might have just been playing the ball nice and simple. Now they're panicking, hoofing it long, and it's like a brick wall, then it comes back. Just little things like that, but not just that, is he would go for it. He would go 4-2-4. He would pin you back. Because I watched the interview, and it was brilliant.
The interview with Gary Neville, and he spoke on this, and the thing is, Ollie comes from that school, but carry on.
He literally said, you're going to lose some.
Yes.
That's fine, because you'll win more. Because I would rather go for it and lose than not go for it at all.
Facts.
That's an elite mentality.
Yep.
Elite mentality.
Facts.
And then even the little things like, for example, when Neville asked him, he was just like, why did you stand outside the dressing room? Was it waiting for us? Was it for the opposition? He went, both. He went, and I'll tell you when it worked. We were 3-0 down at White Hart Lane. I'd done all the team talk. Hardly said anything. Sat there quiet on the radiator. A lot of yous were doing it between you. Brian May got involved. I think that's who he said at the time. He went, and then I stood there, and Sheringham opens the door and just looked at me. And I just looked at him, and he went, do not let them score, really. He went, at that point, I knew we'd had him, and I knew we were going to win that game. Just that alone. You cannot teach that kind of brilliance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because he understands his players.
Yes.
Better than anyone. And this is why, for example, when you hear stories like where he'd shout at Rooney.
Yeah.
Because he'd sit next to Nani. And then he'd take it out on Nani. And it was Nani he wanted to get at, but he knew that if he shouted at me, he wouldn't be able to take it.
Yeah.
That alone is genius. Yeah. When he brings in the Chilean miners, stands him in front of the gym. Do you know who they are? No, boss. Who are they? Well, they're the Chilean miners. Do you understand the teamwork that they had to do to save their lives and get out of that?
And I'm just asking you to win football matches.
Just so simple.
Facts.
But not just that, he was so in tune of his players because he knew that, listen, that 11's not just going to win it, mate. The squad's going to win it. It's like, look at Liverpool, for example, and this is why everyone, not saying it's the same, but this is why Klopp or Fergie wanted Klopp at Old Trafford and why Fergie rang him specifically and was just like, because he wanted him there because there's so many similarities between him and the way that they operate all the way through the squad.
Yeah.
Klopp took Liverpool squad to a mansion, no heating, togetherness. If you can get through this, there's no reason we can't get through it on the pitch.
Yep.
And then you look at the substitutions. Origi was non-existent. No, genuinely, how many games did you see Origi play?
Yeah, that's true. You got a point.
He then comes on against Barcelona, scores 2 of the most important goals of his career. He then comes on in the final and scores the winner. Because he knows how to manage the squad. And then I look at Ollie, and he can't manage his squad correctly. That's why he's not getting the impact of the substitutions when they're coming on. Because they're just left out in the dark. Van der Beek is the prime example. Do you understand what kind of impact he can make on a squad, on a game if he comes on and he's utilised in the right way? But not just that, if he's up for it, because he's constantly talking to him saying, look, you are in my plans.
Yeah.
I just can't change this 11 at the moment, but you will get your chance. That alone can do wonders because then that puts the chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I will make you put me in your plans. Van der Beek doesn't know whether he's coming or going at the moment. And that's the worst thing because he's mismanaged his squad completely.
Yeah. I hear that. See that Prime in there trolling. He says, nah, you man have agendas, Ollie. And just to my point, because people get it mistaken as well when I talk about individual brilliance. So people say, well, every team has individual brilliance and relies on it. Yes, but it's United's plan A. That's my issue with it. No other top team, whether it's Liverpool, whether it's Manchester City, whether it's Chelsea, definitely not Chelsea, and yeah, you should know this. You don't rely on individual. That's not your plan A, B, or C. It happens, of course. When you have talented attacking players, they're going to have moments. When you have a Mane, a Salah, a Firmino, they're going to have moments of brilliance because they're free quality players, not so much this season. If you look at Manchester City, when you have Sterling and De Bruyne, Foden, Aguero, of course they're going to have individual moments. Same with Chelsea. When you have your Havertz, even Werner with his movement, even though he's been poor, he's going to have times, whoever else, they're going to have moments.
But that's because tactically, they will adjust in a game.
Yeah, that's true.
For example, where you'll see Tuchel, he'll adapt in a game.
Yeah.
And it might not even be substitution. It might just be the system slightly tweaking in terms of wanting to go into that position. Liverpool's done it time and time again.
Yeah.
Where we were losing to Tottenham the other season with 1-0 down. And what did he do? He went 4-2-3-1. Henderson went on the right. Salah went up top. Firmino in the 10. We won 2-1. Henderson set both goals up from the right.
There you go. So he made a difference.
That's all it takes. But Ollie's reluctant because his in-game management is so poor.
See, Peter Harder is Chelsea father said our leading goal scorer in the league at 7. We could use some individual brilliance. And the thing is, that's what you're looking to add with the striker. So whether you sign Kane, whether it's Haaland, whether it's somebody else, whether Tuchel tweaks it, maybe you get more out of Werner next season, or Havertz, or Ziyech, etc.
They've got deficiencies. They're going to go address the deficiencies.
Yes.
Nice deficiencies are centre-backs, defensive mid and the right. And you refuse
to do it. And that's not solely on Ollie, but again, you realize what you have. If you don't have a quality DM, don't play two.
No, you play a part. If you're a manager, you put your foot down.
Well, that's true.
Show backbone.
That's true. Passion Merchant here says if you want to play more cohesive one-touch pass and move across the attack, every player needs to be good at it. I don't think Rashford, McTominay, Pogba as powerful specimens have that in their locker. Nah, Pogba definitely does.
Pogba
100%. He's technically sound. He's technically sound just because he's 6'3", 6'4".
Pogba is one of the best technical midfielders.
Technically sound, yeah. 2-footed, can dribble, got skill, all of that type of stuff.
Pace.
Yeah. I think Bruno Mata, Diallo can sort of play pretty patterns of football, maybe don't need to. Yeah, they're capable too, but again, get the most out of your squad.
See, and that's my point. Even Mata, yes, we know he's not got the legs, but to unlock a defense, if they're sitting back, he's perfect.
He's perfect.
And he's just not even thought about.
Because he reverts back. Even what Passion Merch is talking about there, he reverts back to type. He reverts back to runners, hard work. If you watch his post-match interviews, when United lose, we lost, he's talking about we need to work harder.
Yeah, but this is my point.
That's my point is United didn't lose against Villarreal because we didn't work hard enough. The lack of quality was there. That's the problem. The lack of quality. That's the issue. It's a lack of quality. Like, I don't understand why you're talking about working hard, but that's what he reverts back to. McTominay and Fred. Hard workers. Bruno, who I do rate, by the way. When I'm mentioning players here, I'm not criticizing them saying they're not good, but he reverts back to the runners and the workers. McTominay, Fred, they're like that. Bruno, Rashford, Cavani. There's 5. That's who he always reverts back to. Maguire's like that. Wan-Bissaka's like that. That's his trait. Like a manager, a team is, what's the word I'm looking for? A manager's team is a reflection on him. If you look at Pep, what he likes, technically sound ballers. That's why all of his main guys are technically sound and good in Foden. You know what I'm saying? De Bruyne, Gundogan.
But this is my point. You look at
Mahrez, and then you look at Klopp. He like that power, pace, high tempo.
Yeah, but even then, his midfielders have always been workmanlike.
Yes, but that's true. But he's got more around it. That's why his fullbacks play the way they do.
Exactly my point.
There's a reason he has Robertson and Trent. There's a reason his fullback. There's a reason Firmino drops into the 10. There's a reason why Salah and Firmino go inside on the inverted runs.
Exactly my point. So yes, it's like Ollie's just looked at the midfield and gone, "Oh, he's gone workman like midfielders. I'll do that." No, because there's other pieces to the puzzle. It's like a watch. So it's like you've got different pieces to make the watch ultimately tick and go round.
Yeah.
But if you take the back out, there's so many different parts of the puzzle. It's like, look at Klopp. Yes, it's got the workman. But in order for that to work, your fullbacks need to play the way that they do. Firmino needs to drop into the number 9 and the number 10 like he needs to do. Salah and Mane need to make them runs. Fabinho needs to be the one that's it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, it's not just a click of the fingers and it's done. And it's just like, I look at Ollie and it's just like, he's so out of his depth because, like I said, I've said what I need to say on him, but it's criminal. And then De Gea's not saved the penalty. God knows how many years. It's just for the fact that he was even on for that penalty shootout is beyond me as well.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing in terms of. And Passion Merchant, I know you're talking about I don't put too much thing in height. I'm not talking about no height. You're either good enough or you're not. That's not why United ain't failing because the team's too tall. United are failing because they lack quality in it. That's what it is. It's a lack of quality.
Arsenal 2003. Do you know how big that team
was?
Yeah,
it's not nothing to do with. It's not a height thing. It's a quality thing, and this is what I'm saying. I don't over complicate it. This manager's not good enough, and he's not getting the most out of the squad. United should have won that. United didn't lose to Villarreal because the squad was too tall. We lost because one, our players didn't show up, which we're going to get onto, and two, what's it called? And two, the manager's not good enough. I disagree. I don't think height is absolutely crucial. I disagree with that entirely. Look
at City.
Yeah, like it's not high because he's saying the taller you are, it's an issue. Liverpool and City have two of the smaller ones, and that. Really. He's saying it's football science. I disagree.
Really. We've got Van Dijk, Fabinho, Matip,
Henderson.
Ronaldo's
pretty tall as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but Ronaldo's not that big. But even then, like, look at them. Do you know what I mean? Alisson's massive. But it's like you look at the 2003-2004 Arsenal team: Vieira, Henry, Lehmann, Campbell,
Gilberto,
Keown, Gilberto.
Yeah, we could list it. I don't agree with that. Yeah, you said that own, but I don't agree with that about height thing in it. But that's just me. I'm saying you overcomplicate it. Yeah, Stroll had the vaccine, so we will be closing out early people. But yeah, back onto the team. And again, we'll go with the goalkeeper. And this is why I was saying multiple things before in the predictions and previews before. In 2014, Arsenal had the shortest squad. Yeah, and what did they win in 2014? They didn't win no major trophies. But anyways, as I was saying, where was I? Yeah, goalkeeper De Gea. This is why I was saying how. All right. This is why I was saying anyway about why Henderson should start ahead of De Gea. And people were like, "Oh, why De Gea is the better goalkeeper?" My point wasn't me saying that Henderson is better than De Gea. My point is Ollie has picked Henderson to be his number one goalkeeper. So stand by that is what I'm saying. Like stand on it. If that's your guy, that's your man. That's your number one goalkeeper. Yeah, live and die by that decision. Yeah, live and die by it. I don't think Henderson is better than De Gea. That's not what I'm saying. But to give him confidence, because now going into the next season, who's Manchester United's number one? Is it De Gea? Is it Henderson? Exactly. We don't know. Are either of them good enough? We're unsure.
Yeah, but not even that. There was talks in the summer where Maguire was going to Ollie saying, "Look, we need you to make a decision. So we need to know because
it helps the defense."
Yeah, there's so much uncertainty, and it's just like. That can cause so much unrest in the squad. And it's like, I looked at it and I was just thinking, you've bottled it again. Completely bottled it again. Not only have you made him your number one, you've then completely bottled it when it comes to a cup final because you want to please everyone else. It's not about pleasing everyone else. You please everyone else by winning the game and picking the trophy up. Everything else comes second. It's not about players at that point. It's not about what their feelings are if they're left out on the bench, nothing like that. Go and get the job done, then you have the conversation afterwards. And the conversation afterwards is, that's the reason why you were left out.
Yep.
It's simple.
Simple. So he's done, and then that's why that's come to bite him as well, is because Henderson is a better penalty shot stopper than De Gea. So if Henderson's in goal and he backs his guy and it goes to a penalty shootout, Henderson probably saves one of those 11 penalties. And you win the final, you look like a genius for now playing Henderson. So Ollie's status goes through the roof, his confidence goes through the roof. Henderson's confidence goes right through the roof. He just won his first trophy at Manchester United in his first full season.
And then potentially because of how bad Pickford is, you could even nick a couple games at the Euros. Confidence is through the roof. Then you then start the next season. Anything can happen at that point.
Yeah, that's my point in that. So that's how I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying in that. But it is what it is. So onto that point as well. So where was I at? So yeah, I'm still frustrated about this now. Play Henderson. So that's come back to bite you. Smoke again. Another thing I said, shout out to Nuruddin. I was on his channel and people asked me what's the two centre backs would I play? I said Maguire and Bailly. People were like, why? And well, Maguire's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. Again, similar to the Henderson, De Gea situation. Am I a big fan of Maguire? No, but he's better than Lindelof. Who was at fault for the goal? Victor Lindelof.
So this is
who's at fault for the goal, but yet quiet. You talk about Pep not getting no criticism. This man gets zero criticism.
So this is the issue I have.
Go on.
Start Maguire is not fit. So why is he on the bench?
Valid point.
If he's not fit, he shouldn't be on the bench.
Yeah.
Because if he's fit enough to be on the bench, he's fit enough to start.
Yeah, because Bailly or Lindelof could get injured in the first minute and then you have to bring him on. Yeah, you got a point? You got a valid point.
So it's just like,
and that's your captain as well.
Exactly.
That's your guy.
He's your leader.
Yeah, he's your guy. Yeah.
And look what happens when you don't have your centre back. Look how defensively poor you were.
And that happens with him. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, but specifically, look how bad it's been without him. But yet, you, man, were happy to the fact that we lost 3 centre backs. That's not an excuse. Second Maguire goes, suddenly there's excuses left, right, and centre. But it's like, if he's fit enough to be on the bench,
play him.
He's fit enough to start. Play him, because that goal doesn't happen if he's there.
No.
He heads that 40 yards away.
Because that's one good thing is he is aerially competent. And I'm not a big fan of Maguire, but I'm saying...
And look at the impact he has specifically on Luke Shaw's game.
Fair point. Because
look where that goal came from. Luke Shaw and Lindelof. Them two, specifically. Luke Shaw doesn't make that kind of mistake when Maguire's there. Maguire isn't letting that happen.
Facts.
That falls on Ollie. Huh? Your team selection was terrible.
Yeah,
just for that alone.
And back to Lindelof again, like I said, passive, weak, hiding. How did I say? Who's the closest man when Moreno puts it in? Lindelof smelled the danger. Yes, it's zonal marking. But you're just not aware of he doesn't want to engage. Get me? Always trying to pass the buck. You're the senior centre-back at that point. With Maguire not playing, even though you're playing next to Bayer, you're the senior centre-back. When Axel comes on, you're still the senior centre-back. You're in a cup final, you're international. Lead by example. But passive, like I said, weak. And he made the mistake for the goal against Traore against Villa, and he made 2 mistakes. Not engaging, not close enough, not tight, etc., etc. But that's him for you. That's Victor Lindelof all over. And this is why when I was getting criticised on Nuruddin's channel, now look. That was my point. But is what it is. I thought, Bailly did okay. Wan-Bissaka was okay. Shaw, again, was okay. I don't really have an issue with those 3. De Gea didn't have much to do. Like I said, McTominay was very poor in the first half. Second half, he got slightly better. Pogba was good in the first half. Really, second half, poor.
I thought McTominay had an okay game.
The first half, he was poor. Just after that, he was better.
In terms of, I liked how he was
He was trying to drive forward, but But
that's what
I don't think he was exceptional.
I liked that he was trying to do that because United needed that. But you need that in the second half.
But he shouldn't have even been on the pitch. He should not be on the pitch when you're chasing the game, but that's a whole other story.
Exactly my point. When you're chasing the game, you go to win it. You go 4-4-2, just play 2 8s and just go and win the game. Do something different.
So you got, where was we at? So like I said, my thoughts on it. But McTominay poor in the first half, better in the second half. Pogba was good, I thought, in the first half. Second half wasn't good.
Yeah.
Bruno in the 10, non-existent for the whole 120 minutes, did absolutely nothing. When you need your 10 and your talisman, you're the link player. You're supposed to produce some magic. And I'm a big fan of Bruno, but he was shocking. That's the game where he's supposed to stand up. He's been compared to Eric Cantona. So many big games, Eric Cantona stood up and was the difference maker. Bruno was non-existent. Rashford was the worst outfield player.
In that cup finals, Cantona stood up.
Yes.
94,
95 against Liverpool. Yes, he stood up in so many games. Scored. The amount of times United won games 1-0 and it's 1-0 Cantona. It was a regular occurrence. Rashford, worst player on the pitch to me, for he was awful. Absolutely
he's
awful.
Another one, it's just like, give the man a break.
But he came out and said he was injured. But that's all. Not only does that fall on Ollie and the physios, that falls on Rashford too. They're all to blame. Who's more to blame is different. But if you're injured, don't play. But now you're coming out, and I think he said after the game, 5 or 6 of us have been carrying injuries for the longest. Well, don't play then. You're always going to get niggles. No player, I think, plays a full season and is 100% fit.
What I'm saying is,
but rest.
That Solskjaer will overly play him when he's injured is beyond me. Just rest the man, for crying out loud. Because you will benefit from it in the long term.
Well, so that's my thoughts on that. Rashford was awful. Greenwood was bright, was our best attacker to me. The fact that he got taken off was absolute joke. Cavani was feeding off scraps. So he was doing all he could. He had 6 touches in the opposition box in 120 minutes. Yeah, when people tell me that Harry Kane is the answer. People will tell me Harry Kane is the answer. I keep saying this. Harry Kane is the shiny 24-inch rims, but we don't even have wheels on the car. That's what it is. We don't even have wheels on the car. Like someone said to me yesterday, Harry Kane is the Gucci belt and you don't even have milk and bread in the fridge. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. You don't even have bread in the kitchen. That's what it is. He is, get me the red bottoms, but you got a bed sheet as curtains. That's what it is. Harry Kane is quality, no doubt about it, but United need much more than Harry Kane, and we need different. Centre-back is needed. Holding midfielder is needed. A right winger is needed.
Harry Kane would need a similar kind of service to what Lukaku needed.
Yeah. Would
you didn't give Lukaku any of that service.
Well, if you're still Ollie in after this, I don't know what to tell you, innit? I don't know what I'm going for you, innit? Don't know what I'm going for you. But we are going to close out the show early, people. Anything you want to add, Stroh, before we bounce? That's it. So, yeah, we will be back to 2 hours next week. Like I said, it's because Stroh got vaccinated. He's not feeling 100%, but he's still here putting together a show for you lot. And my last thoughts on it is, if you're still Ollie in now, I don't know how much more evidence you need. People talking about Nuruddin was talking about giving till Christmas. Seen other people talk about, oh, you don't want to stick with a manager you don't like. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. I don't know how many more times and more things have to happen for people to realize this manager is not it. It's not an agenda. It's nothing. The facts are staring you in the face. Before the Europa League final, the facts were staring you in the face. When we went out in the Champions League, in the manner in which we did, the facts was there. Last season, the facts was there. The season before that, the facts was there. But people want to just hide because Ollie's a legend. And he's, as Stroh said, he's solidified. To me, as a United player, solidified. Well, is he tarnishing his legacy? Yes. Because not only is he in the worst possible predicament, he's the worst man for the job. Terrible manager. Awful. Here's what it is. Anything you want to add before we bounce, Stroh?
Yeah. I just hope Ollie gets a lifetime contract.
See, that's a Liverpool fan saying that. Get well, Stroh. Says Vladimir's Prime. Big up Prime each and every time. Yeah, big up to everyone's lot. And before we go, if you're watching live on the YouTube channel, please make sure you hit the like button on the video.
Actually, there's one thing I want to say. Forget the fact it's Chelsea for a minute. Obviously, love to Lewis, so it's great to see Lewis on TV and stuff.
Fantastic.
Like that. But if there's one person I was so happy that Chelsea won the Champions League, it was Prime. To go through what he's been through this year in terms of the racist abuse when he's been on streams,
facts,
the racial abuse that he's received, the abuse he's received, grievances personally, and to see him as happy as he was when I was talking to him, like that's what football's all about. Was you might not have your loved ones in and around you, but they will always, do you know what I mean? They might not be here in body, but they're there in spirit. So more than happy to see him celebrating the Champions League, because after everything he's been through, there's not anyone that deserves it more than him. So
facts.
Love, brother, always.
Yeah, man, big up. Passion Merchant, one, I want to ask you before we go, who's your team? He says, get new signings, stop moaning about Ollie. Clearly you haven't been listening, because we said just about 5 minutes ago, I said it, Stroh said it, United need a centre-back, a holding midfielder, and a right winger.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? A centre-back, a holding midfielder, and a right winger. We said this.
Let's have a guess. What team? I'm saying Arsenal.
It's either Arsenal or United. It's one of the two.
No, it won't be United by the way you're saying. Just get signed.
And stop moaning now, because that's what Ollie Innes say. Ollie Innes blame the signings. Yeah. So he's United or Arsenal, I guarantee you.
Would you be like someone mad like Blackburn?
He is, isn't it? If it's Black, it'd be crazy. He might lie now about who it is, but he's definitely, and he's Ollie In. Because only Ollie Innes who defend this man. Nobody else defends this man, apart from Ollie Innes and rival fans like yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I disagree with that. Actually, if you're talking about the squad, yeah. See, he's not even answered. He's definitely a United fan. Told you, man. Ollie In, man.
What did he say?
He said, I'm not Ollie In. That's what Ollie In said.
Right, well, what team? We just want to know what team before we go quickly.
You know what I mean? This is what they do in that, because they know their man's washed. I'm telling you, man, I've seen this. And if he's not Ollie In, he has Ollie In rhetoric. I say that to a lot of people, because people say certain things to me. I'm like, you're Ollie In. They go, no. I'm like, all right, you might not be Ollie In. I don't know why you'd lie to me, but I don't think you'd lie to me, but you have Ollie In rhetoric. It's like talking to someone about politics, and they have a lot of Labour. Let's use Labour as an example. A lot of their views are Labour-like, and you say to them, right, you're a Labour guy? And they go, no. All right, you might not be a Labour guy, but you have Labour views. It's the same. It's the same thing. See, told you. What did I say? People need to wake up to our squad. This is bigger than Ollie. Told you, man. I can see it a mile off, fam. I told you, Stroh. Only Ollie in his talk like that. I told you. United fan. Told you. Knew it. Been around here and that. 100%. Brian, I know he's trolling, or he might not be trolling, but these are always teachable moments in that. Notice that. All the time we were criticizing Ollie, he didn't say anything about the final. Yeah. Nothing. Is our squad good enough? Nah, 100%. All right, you tell me you're not Ollie in. What I will say, like I say it to everyone else, I believe you. You're not Ollie in, but you have a lot of Ollie in rhetoric. You have a lot of views of the Ollie inners. That's not a criticism. That's just a fact. Because I talk to a lot of people who are Ollie in. And they have the squad's not good enough. Stop moaning about Ollie. No, let's get a new manager in. How about that? Let's get a manager who is of quality. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I do these things is because these debates keep me sharp as well, Prem. You know what I'm saying? And that. But yeah, my apologies for labeling you. My apologies, Passion Merchant. I didn't mean to label you. My apologies. But you do have Ollie in rhetoric, though. That's not a label. That's just the facts of the matter. I'm sure you know people who are Ollie in as well. And you will agree on a lot. A hell of a lot. So that's what it is. But yeah, as I was saying with him, if you are still Ollie in at this point and they're saying you Passion Merchant, this is to anyone who's still packing his manager. I don't know how much more evidence do you need in it. People won't be happy. People will be in league. We'll be in league too, and people would still back this guy.
Oh, yeah.
100%. 100%. See, Prime asked him, why are you then? Ollie, hashtag Ollie out. You know what I'm saying? No, man, he's going to sit on the fence with it. I guarantee it. Zayn says, flawless and Stroll thoughts on the reports of Trent, Saka, Greenwood not making the England squad. It's terrible. All three of them should be going.
We're going to have a proper show next week and dissect it, and we've got potentially a very big special guest coming in, which is perfect for this kind of news.
Facts.
So yeah, tune in.
That's it. And Zico here says it. In my opinion, even with signings with Ollie, we're still not winning the league or Champions League, and that should be the vision. Zico, that's like you're my burner account. That's my point. Because we should have won the Europa League, and we didn't. We should have got through. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Ollie out because he deserves at least 6 months. I'm not desperate. I have patience and respect, and that respect comes because he's a former player in that. I don't disrespect him. I just don't think he's good enough as a manager. I could be here all day talking about Ollie in, Ollie out. Catch me on Sarcasm City TV on a weekly basis, people. Please make sure you subscribe to Sarcasm City TV. We literally go live every day. Hit the notification bell when you do sports shows, boxing shows, politics, current affairs, plus more. So check it out. And if you're watching this live if you're watching this live right now or you're watching this back, please make sure you hit the like button on the video and subscribe to Pi Radio. We're here every Monday from a Third Eye View. Myself, Stroke, JV, sometimes joined by a special guest discussing all things Premier League. But with the Premier League season stopping, obviously we'll be discussing Premier League transfer rumors, etc., and looking at who needs to sign what. But also we will be covering the Euros. We'll cover a bit of Copa America as well and other football. Anything else you want us to add in it? Because you lot can ask questions in the comments. You feel me? He says, no, I respect my manager. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I respect any manager. I respect every manager too. It don't mean he's not good enough. If I tell Stroll he's not good at something, does that mean I'm not respecting you? Or is that me just telling you you're not good at something? Okay. Is that the same vice versa? You told me, yeah, flawless ain't it. But we move in that. You know what I'm saying? In that. I mean, Passion Merchant gonna make all excuses in it about the players being over 190 centimeters, but we move. Love to everyone who's locked in. This has been From a Third Eye View on Pi Radio. Thank you very much for